Okay, this is a special factoring rule for when, again, this always works. It's a special factoring rule when they give you a coefficient there in front of the x squared that's not a 1. Okay? So first step was to take the a value times the c value. We did that. A value times the c value, 5 times 6 gave me 30, right? Okay? Then, write down all the factor pairs. Write down every factor pair that multiplies to your answer in step 1. So in other words, we're going to write down all of the things that could multiply to make a 30. So I got a 1 and a 30, I got a 2 and a 15, I got a 3 and a 10, and I got a 5 and a 6. Everybody would agree? Those are the things that could multiply to make 30. So I write down all my factor pairs that multiply to make the answer in step 1. Okay? Then, find the pair, so find out which factor pair adds to our b value, or adds to our negative 17, but still multiplies to positive 30. Well, if it's got to multiply to a positive 30 and add to a negative 17, they both have to be negative, right? So, look at your factor pairs. Could you make a 1 and a 30 add up to a negative 17? No. Could you make a 2 and a 15 add up to negative 17? Yes, if they're both negative, right? So we found our pair. Our two answers right now are negative 2 and negative 15. Okay? We found our factor pair that adds to, or that multiplies to the 30, but adds to our b value, adds to our negative 17. Okay? So far so good? Yep. Divide both of those numbers by the a value and reduce the fraction. Divide both of those numbers by the a value and reduce the fraction. So I'm going to put them both over a 5. So over a 5, over a 5, and then I'm going to reduce negative 2 over 5 does not reduce. Negative 15 over 5 would reduce to a negative 3 over a 1. I'm going to put it over a 1 for a reason. I'll show you why in a second. So again, what I did was I figured I took a times c and got 30. I wrote down all the factor pairs that multiply to 30. I found out which of those factor pairs added to the b value. Then I took those two numbers and I divided them or put them over the a value and reduced the fraction. Now you're basically done, and I'll show you how you're basically done. Okay? The two fractions you have left over are essentially also your two factors. Let me show you how they are your factors. Take a look at the first fraction. Okay, negative 2 over 5. Put the variable with the bottom number. So 5x. One of your factors is 5x minus 2. 5x is right here, the minus 2 comes from right here. So one of your factors is 5x minus 2. The other factor is going to be what? 1x minus 3. Okay? Or just x minus 3. Okay?
We did that in the beginning.
You just had them flipped around. We had the minus 3 here and the minus 2 here. So it didn't quite work. We were close. We were really close. We had 5x minus 3 and then x minus 2 written down when we tried it. And little did we know that we just could have flip-flopped them and we would have had the right factors. But these are correct. Let's watch. 5x times x gives me what? 5x squared minus 15x minus 2x. Minus 15x minus 2x gives me my negative 17x and then my plus 6, right? Okay. Now let's finish it. What do we do? Because we're solving, set both factors equal to 0 and solve. So 5x minus 2 equals 0. X minus 3 equals 0. Add 2, divide by 5, I get 2/5. Add 3, x equals 3. There are your two answers. So those are your two values where the parabola would hit the x-axis. Those are the zeros of the function. Yes, Paul?
How did you get the 5 to the x minus 2 in parentheses?
Do you see this fraction that I got down here, this negative 2/5?
Yeah.
Put the x with the bottom number.
Alright.
So there's my 5x minus 2.
Oh, alright.
Just use that fraction. 5x minus 2, 1x minus 3. Those are my two factors. 5x minus 2, 1x minus 3.
Alright.
Whatever your two fractions are, those will be your factors in a sense. You just got to transfer them up to a factor form.
Alright.
All right? So, questions on that? Yes, Joey?
Can you explain stuff to me?
I had to find out which of these sets of numbers added to negative 17. Can a 1 and a 30 somehow add to make 17?
No.
Could a 2 and a 15?
Yeah.
So that's the numbers we use. But they both had to be negative, right?
Right.
A negative 2 and a negative 15. So that's what I did. I found which factor pairs, negative 2 and negative 15, I found out which factor pair added to a negative 17.
Okay.
That's what your job is in step 3. Figure out which of these pairs of numbers could add to a negative 17. Can a 3 and a 10 add to make negative 17?
No.
How about a 5 and a 6?
No.
The only one that's possible is the 15 and the 2, and you make them both negative.
All right.
Is that all right? Okay, anybody else? All right, I'll let you guys do one now around here as soon as I pause this.